Welcome to Retire Rich, Finance Simplified, hosted by David Saldiva with Mark Hernandez and Carlos Lopez.
Hello, welcome back to the show. I'm Dave.
Hey, good morning, David. How are you?
Morning, this is Mark Hernandez, and today we're going to be talking about geopolitical.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. We're getting lots of calls from clients with many concerns, but also clients that you are stepping outside their usual bounds of their consistency in terms of their in terms of the way they feel and how much risk their risk capabilities. What's going on in the world is affecting everything in the financial markets.
Hold on. You got to fill me in because for New Year's, I gave up watching the news. Okay.
Well, that's probably what everybody should do because it's just everything every day. It just seems that things are happening out of the ordinary. With the geopolitical risk going on first, of course, you have the war going on with Russia and Ukraine, and that still is a very hot war.
I get the big news. Yeah, usually
we're,
that trickles
we're
down.
out there helping out there, and then of course, the war in the Middle East that is affecting tremendously, the price of commodities such as oil. The price of gas is going up every day.
Yeah, I noticed that one.
And then inflation, that's going to affect inflation. The Fed just met recently and decided to keep interest rates intact. So there's not going to be any type of relief there. So the problem is that the average consumer needs to be aware of these issues and make plans accordingly. One thing I try to do in talking to our clients is make sure that they constantly reevaluate the risk situation, okay?
The risk tolerance?
The risk tolerance, how much risk they're willing to take. We let them know. I had a conversation this week with many clients that were concerned about their accounts. And the thing that I wanted to stress to them is that we are monitoring their accounts. Mm-hmm. And luckily, the programs we use have safety nets, such as AssetLock, where your account has a bottom number that if you ever get close to that number, it'll trigger response.
Yeah.
Either, we need to act. In other words, we can talk about modifying their account, even going drastic and moving it all to cash.
So unless it triggers this alert, they shouldn't really worry too much.
No, I believe they should be more involved working with their advisors. If they don't have an advisor, probably find one and search one out that you can work with. Yeah, call us, because the fact is that this is a very, very day-changing situation from one day to the next. Damn. And the markets are affected greatly. And I had some clients ask me the other day, said, "Hey, Mark, I have some money. I had some CD money maturing, and CD rates are going down. So, I want to look at maybe putting this to work." Mm-hmm. I said, "Should I go buy such and such energy stock?" And I'm going, well, that they've been going up recently because of this, and spiking up because of what's going on in the Middle East. But the thing is, they could eat, that's not might be a long term. Something could be resolved, and then next thing you know, oil prices dip tremendously, and then they're going to take a big hit on that.
Oops, yeah.
They're going to take similar to crypto. A lot of clients, in the past said, "Hey, what do you think of crypto?" I said, that is something I don't put clients into. I want them to be thinking more long term.
That's for play money.
And the fact is that, look at Bitcoin was $120,000 at the beginning of the year, dipped all the way to the mid 60s, is rallied to 70,000, but that's not gonna appease the people that bought it over $100,000. No. So the thing is that you need to have a long game and a long term approach to investing. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's the conversation we have with our clients. So right now, the thing is that do not just stick your head in the sand and say, "Oh, it's going to go away. I don't have to worry about it." You need to look at everything that you have and see how it's going to be affected by what's going on. We still have inflation is not at 2%. It's not at 9% like it was during COVID, but it's still higher than the Fed wants it to be. Okay, that's one thing. The second thing is we've got issues with tariffs, which is that's still in effect, and that is causing all kinds of issues. The thing is, and then clients will be upset. They said, hey, the dollar this, dollar that, I should have all my money in gold. Well, gold has spiked tremendously in the last year, but since the war started, it has started to go down.
Oh, great.
So the thing is that, people thought, the safe haven is gold and minerals. Well, again, there's been a downturn in that. So the fact is that they have to have you have to have a long-term approach and view as to what on your accounts.
And something that can kind of weather the storm.
Yeah, and the thing is that be aware. Be aware of what's going on. Look at your whole portfolio.
Proactive.
Now, the conversations, again, having with clients. If there is uneasiness on their part, because there are a couple clients that we did move them to cash based on their concerns right now. And, the thing is that's fine. That's fine. I mean, if the cash obviously is a safe haven, but obviously you don't want to miss out on big bounces. And over the years, I mean, it's been proven that when you miss some of those big bounces, you can't make those up. So but that's an extreme. The thing is that we can reevaluate clients' risk tolerance at this time if they have concerns. We can reevaluate it if they are feeling more concerned, more conservative. We can adjust their account to that to reduce their downside.
So instead of just moving straight to cash, maybe let's put you in something a little more conservative that can...
Still based on the risk tolerance.
Okay.
I mean, that's the key, is to reevaluate your risk tolerance. And the thing is that in that case, we could move to a more conservative type portfolio to weather that storm. But you still stay invested. Okay, you're still invested. So if there is that big hit, you may not get the big bounce you would have had you been maybe more moderate or aggressive, but you'll still have an uptick in the account, and then
ride that wave.
At that time, you can reevaluate to see if you need to go back to where you were.
Yeah.
But the thing is that on the way we manage our accounts is we review them all the time, and we review them weekly so we can see how they're doing and what's trending, how the clients' accounts are trending. But the biggest thing is, as an advisor, having the peace of mind that our clients have the AssetLock protector. The AssetLock on the account. And the way AssetLock works, obviously, is that as a client's account moves up, their asset value also moves up. And the asset value is based on their risk tolerance, and the appraisal we did of the risk tolerance. It tells us how low they're willing to let the account go before they want to make
and that floor
a change.
Adjusts as they grow.
Yes.
Okay.
In other words, the floor goes up as they go up, but then it also starts coming down as it comes down.
Correct.
But the fact is that we have a solution to their financial needs during these crises. I mean, right now, I would say we are in a financial crisis. This is not ordinary, what's happening. There is tremendous geopolitical risk. I mean, every day, when do you see leaders of a nation taken out daily, and where do you see where energy and oil facilities are being targeted? Okay, and that's going to influence your pocketbook.
Yep.
It's going to influence your pocketbook. So the thing is that, and I stress this very much, is that in times of volatility, you should be looking at everything that you have in your retirement portfolio. If you're working, you should still look at your 401k, your thrift savings plan, your 457 plan. How are you allocated? I mean, and the fact is that you can still make adjustments, and we can help you make adjustments to fit your risk profile at any given time. So you have to look at your programs at work. You have to look at your own investments, your own brokerage accounts, your own savings. Now, if you have, and we have a lot of our retired clients in safe money programs. You know, they may be in multi-year guaranteed annuities. They may be in index
So they don't have
annuities.
to worry as much.
Well, the thing is that their gains on the accounts could be affected. I mean, maybe
That locks in every couple of years.
Yeah,
or so.
well, I mean, the fact is that it still could fluctuate with what the allocations do and the markets do, but they will not lose principal. Okay, and in some cases, some of your safe money programs, the principal changes on a yearly basis or every 2 years. So whatever you start off with, whatever you made that year for interest, it'll lock in, and then that becomes your new floor, your new principal. Or every 2 years it could lock in. So the fact is that when you have programs that are that have safety provisions, it's just based on the viability and the financial stability of the company you're dealing with, and we only deal with A+ companies, then that could give you peace of mind on having peace of mind on those funds. Okay, so that's something. And again, it's not uncommon for me to get calls from clients that maybe have brokerage money somewhere and they're concerned about losing it. Next thing we're talking about is utilizing some kind of safe money program like an index annuity or a multi-year guarantee annuity, something that's going to guarantee that principal so they won't lose it.
So we got safety all around. We can do we can put safety on a 401k so you get alerts, and then we can do safety on your brokerage accounts. We can put those guardrails on through the AssetLock, and we can get really serious and put it in, safe money programs in an annuity.
Yeah. So
everybody.
It just basically depends on what a client's situation is, and their situation can change. Their mental framework of what they're thinking will change. It's not uncommon for someone to think when things are going well and things are booming, I want to be aggressive. They have the FOMO, fear of missing out. They want to take advantage of that, which is great. The only thing is that when things start getting like they are now, volatile, then at that point, they get concerned and their whole mental framework changes.
Is there an acronym for that one?
No, unfortunately, not one I can think of. Not what I can think of. A fear of losing money. So you might say FOLM or something. A fear of losing money. But the thing is that the fact is that every person needs to know what their financial time frame is. If you have somebody that's 10 years from retirement, they can afford to be more aggressive. They can afford to let things roll the way they're going because they know they have time to make it up. The fact is, though, when somebody is close to retirement, within that maybe 2 to 5 year window or even retired, they don't have time to make up losses, especially if they're taking money. If you're retired and you're taking money from your accounts to live on. You're making withdrawals. Well, if you're making withdrawals when your account is going down, well, that increases those losses.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, let's take example.
You're the whole.
So let's say that you're drawing, 5%. 5% out annually. Okay, you're taking 5%.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, when the markets are doing 5% or above, you're great. You're even or above.
Breaking even. Yeah.
10. If it's 10, 12%, you're above. But let's say you're still drawing because you need that income. You still need that income. Now you're drawing that income, but the markets are down 10, 15, 20%. Well, now you're down 20, 25%. And to get back to even, you might have to make up 50% to get back to even. The math shows that. The math shows that you have to make a lot more than what the account went down to make up those losses. Okay, so this is very important. If you are drawing income from your accounts, you need to sit down with your advisor and say, where can I get income from that won't affect me as much if the markets are this volatile? Okay, so hopefully maybe you have some cash accounts, maybe you have some safe money accounts. This is the time to draw from safe money accounts because you know you're not losing money. You can draw from those accounts. So if you have annuities, they have withdrawal features where you can take money out on an annual basis, use the money there, maybe take more from there, take less from the brokerage account, or leave the brokerage account alone or the managed account alone. So that way you're not taking withdrawals and lower when things are going down. So the I guess you might say the most important thing is get with your advisor, look at the funds you have, and make decisions that are based on your current risk tolerance.
So we need to have a game plan, especially in this type of situation, this geopolitical storm.
It is, and I'm saying we're in a financial crisis. This is not normal, where you have the tariffs, where you have inflation. Thank goodness inflation is not rampant, but we still have it. Where you have the price of gas going up. I mean, I remember when I was a freshman in college.
Oh, no.
You know, that was the first Iran crisis. You know, when they had the hostages. That just probably dates me.
I thought y'all got it directly from the dinosaurs.
No, not then. But the fact is that the price of gas, and we used to have lines for gas. There were lines. You have to wait for hours to get gas, and it was expensive. Well, could that happen again? Could that happen? I mean, that's the thing. You need to be aware of what's going on and make allowances and make adjustments to what's going on. So again, there could be another issue tomorrow. There could be another issue tomorrow. So the fact is that know what your risk tolerance is. Know if you're invested, what your bottom line number is. That hey, if my account gets to this, I need to make adjustments. Well, again, you know, our clients on their managed accounts, we have AssetLock, so that gives me it makes me feel more comfortable that we have that covered. But we're having conversations right now. There's more and more conversation with our clients about the current situation, and we're telling them that of course, everybody's different. We have to review their situation, review their income situation to see what's the best plan going forward. But then that plan may change in a few months if things get resolved and things get back to normal. Well, then we have to reevaluate that plan. So that's why working with a knowledgeable advisor can help them to weather these storms, and also to when times are good to maybe make up for these
and be proactive
losses they might suffer or whatever. Yeah, be proactive to try to get back to a successful financial pattern.
I think that about covers it. So if you got any questions, comments, give us a call. You can reach us at mahfinancial.biz, and we'll be happy to answer any of these topics here.
Thank you for listening to Retire Rich, Tales of Financial Freedom. Have questions about topics covered during the show? Visit our website at www.mahfinancial.biz or give us a call at 956-994-0407. Don't forget to click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Investment advisory services and financial planning services are offered through Simplicity Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. SEC registration does not constitute an endorsement of the firm, nor does it indicate that the advisor has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Insurance, consulting, and education services offered through M.A.H Financial. M.A.H Financial is an unaffiliated entity from Simplicity Wealth. Clicking the like button does not constitute a testimonial for or an endorsement of our investment advisory firm, any associated person, or our services. Clicking the like button is merely a mechanism to circulate our page. Like is not meant in the traditional sense. In addition, postings to our page must refrain from recommending us or providing testimonials for our investment advisory firm. Because the SEC and state securities regulators generally prohibit testimonials, any such postings are subject to swift removal.